Because life is
And
about movement. We can't stay still. We can't be stagnant. Yeah.
I think that's where, probably in the last few years, I've probably stayed too long in the role that I have been in my current business, doing the same thing I've been doing. And it's got, for whatever reason, I forgot how to listen to that or was not brave enough to do that. I'm not sure. But
that's really interesting. Yeah.
So that's kind of, I guess, where I said to you earlier, things are a little bit more muddy, because when I left the industry of personal development, so I was working, during the Billionaire Adventure Club, and I saw the writing on the wall. The guy I was working with was, he lived on the road. He absolutely battled and destroyed his body and his mind, his well-being, because he took pills to keep himself up,
Wow.
He took pills to help him go to sleep. If you think about being on the road, when you're traveling literally every country, you're in a different week, or every week you're in a different country, vice versa. If you think about what that would do to your body, I mean, you know better than me. How would you possibly, I don't know how he did it for 5 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there became a point where I was in Egypt and I was running the club. There was 120 entrepreneurs.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
That was a truth sneeze.
Andrew was there. Andrew was there with me, the guy that was, running the crew. And we were on the boat in the Nile. And that's when Chris needed to leave his current role. He basically, lack of a better word, broke down.
Which is just his body's way of saying, I can't do it anymore.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
No, completely broke down. And he had to, that was his way out. So that happened. And then, everything was sort of imploding in that moment and people wanting their money back. And it was a very, very difficult time. I think all of my event training was used in those moments.
To manage that energy.
To manage the chaos. Yeah. And it was chaos. So at the end of that's when I basically said to Andrew, and Andrew said to me, why don't we go into business together? And while I was doing that as well, Patty, I came full circle and I was running the Billionaire Adventure Club, but here's another I also. I was also.
It doesn't surprise me anymore.
I was also building a membership website for Chris. So I went back into my web head and I learned systems and I learned web platforms, and I built a membership site where we launched to his global community, and we had 18,000 members at launch. So I was building that up at the same time. And so Andrew's sort of like, you're good at websites and systems. And I'd been playing around in social media strategy, and that moment just was there, and it just, boom, we went into business together. And that's when I left. But in that moment as well, I remember when it happened, it was in October of, I want to say 2009, I think. Yeah. And I had with my newer partner at the time, Neil. He's from the UK. He lives in Australia. We went to London to spend Christmas with his family. And I remember I didn't want to get out of bed in December when I was there, because I had no idea who I was, because I had unfortunately wrapped my entire identity in the fact that I was the Billionaire Adventure Club director, and I worked with speakers and I traveled around the world and I was like a rock star.
Yeah. You still are one, but
oh, thank you.
Going out to dinner with you is always fun. But that's interesting. That is really, really interesting.
I didn't know who I was anymore. So that's I think one thing with identity, when you get your identity becomes wrapped around your business.
Yes.